How much shame do you carry being a woman in corporate America? I really want you to think about that because often we as women, we don't realize how much internalized shame that we have just for being a woman in a space that really wasn't originally created for us. And this has nothing to do with bashing males or saying that men are less than. No, men are great. Men do great, great things, but so do women. But we women haven't really reconciled ourselves with being a woman. And I'm going to speak to you today as a woman who spent the majority of my 20s and 30s in corporate America and really started to recognize this issue that McKinsey, consulting and Lean In and other great research tanks have done to research these issues that women are dealing with, right? What the researchers really do a great job of is talking about what corporate America needs to do in order to make us as women see equity and equality, right? What I want to talk about today is, but there's still some things that we as women need to get clear on. And if you are a woman who really struggles with being a woman, this video is for you. You may not know that you struggle being a woman, but let me bring some things to your attention. We as women really don't recognize that we're feminine, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But no one really showed by example. At least I'll speak for myself and others that I know who struggle, my clients, to talk about how we approach these issues in corporate America because we're different. Did you know that there is such a high statistic that say that women believe that men make better leaders? Not just men. Women believe that men make better leaders. Now, here's the reason why. Because they can't quite wrap their minds around the fact that we have these women issues that we have got to deal with. And so, by the very nature of us being women, we can't be effective leaders. That, my friends, was an actual belief system by a lot of people in years not so far past, but even of women today. So I want to speak to you on the real about that. I don't even want to go into the statistics that McKinsey and Lean In talk about. Those are very good, but all I want to talk to you about today is being 100% feminine. 100% feminine, and stop apologizing for that. There are three things that we can clearly say that we women do that can, to some degree, and to other areas, impact our ability to be able to consistently do things at work, because we've got to take into consideration some things that just naturally happen to us. Let's talk about the first one. Periods. I mean, we're women, period. We have periods. No one ever talks about that, right? It's such a shameful thing to talk about. We all have the stories of us shamefully, as young girls, going to the store to buy these things called tampons and pads, not to mention all of the shame that surrounds it. I'm not saying we got to make it public knowledge. Oh, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to go, change, and I've got my period this month. But the fact is that we do. And some women, it affects them much deeply than others. Like literally, it incapacitates them. And we have to have medication, and there's other things that we got to do in order for us to effectively deal with that time period. You see? That cycle that happens once a month. Can we normalize the fact that, number one, we're women and we have those issues, and then we can start to assess how we need to effectively do our jobs with that particular natural cycle, right? So that's number one. Number two, we're women and we have the capabilities of having children. It will impact your work. Now, I thought I was superwoman and it was not going to impact me because my mindset was this ain't going to impact me because I'm so high above all that, right? I'm an athlete. I know how to do things. But once I got pregnant, my life changed. But no one ever talked about it. No one ever told me, oh, this is what you say, this is what you do, this is how you approach the issue, this is how you talk to your direct report, this is how you talk to your team. Here are some suggested things that you could do for accommodations. Nobody talking like that to me. No one had any conversations. And as a result of that, that caused me to feel shame because I'm thinking, well, why can't I deal with it? Because everybody else dealt with it, but no one talked about it. And so we are just now talking about these issues, right? It wasn't too far ago in the legal issues of how we can create accommodations for women who do become pregnant and all of the shame that goes around even women who say they don't want to have kids. Like women who have kids shame people for the people that don't have kids. And then the people that do have kids shaming the people that don't want to have kids. It's just a hot mess. But this is all the internal dialogue that's going on about it. Am I right or am I right? Prove me wrong. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you because this is a topic that I know has been amazingly interesting in corporate America. And I'm going to get to a point in a minute about why we need to talk about it. The third thing that I know that we as women still struggle with is even addressing the fact that we have this thing called menopause. Why it has to have the word MEN, and I know that there's a whole Latin thing, but why it even has the word MEN in front of it is very interesting to me. But menopause, right? Knowing that we need a pause. We need a moment. But what do we do with it? We don't even know what happens to our bodies. We women, we had no idea. We didn't even know what to do with why we're feeling this way. Because a lot of us really didn't understand, is there a difference between me dealing with menopause? Am I crazy? What's going on? I feel unstable. I'm having all this heat. Everything's happening to me all at once. See, all of these three things, having periods, having kids, and menopause, some would say, oh, that's why you can't lead well. No, it's why I need to lead differently. And because I know how to deal with these kinds of things, makes me a more effective leader. And until you can internally believe that, and you know it for a fact that you are purely and 100% feminine, will you be able to be the most effective leader? You see, because when you wrap shame around being a woman, you go into corporate spaces on guard, ready for someone to say something, ready to talk to, clock and, go clap back on people, meaning having this defensive nature, trying to defend your position. Whereas just calmly and beautifully and amazingly knowing that you are the most beautiful woman that could ever be created, that you have beautiful opportunities within your body to do great things. You contribute so many beautiful things just by being you. That makes you an effective, amazing leader. You just lead differently. And can we have a hand clap that there ain't nothing wrong with that, right? And that's why I'm bringing this to you today. It is not a bash against anybody else for being any other gender that they choose, but we women are women. And we need to love all of that. You see, there's all these studies by McKinsey and Lean In who effectively talk about why corporate spaces need to create room for us. But we women need to be able to speak our truth in what we need to effectively lead by just being good. with the feminine body that we're in. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Because this is the teaching for today. And I want you to teach our young people. I mean, a lot of our young people who are just entering corporate America already get this fact. And some of the more seasoned, aged women are lashing back at them saying, oh, well, they don't want to work. They don't want it. They're lazy. No, they just don't want to do it that way. They've come to realize and they have reconciled themselves with that feminine nature. And that's good. Take some notes. Things are changing. And we women need to be good with who we are. We bought into a system that was not set up for us to succeed. That's the reason why the Surgeon General came out with a report that said, how can we help parents be effective parents, especially when they're in corporate America, right? It's difficult. That's the conversation I wanted to have with you today. If this video makes you think differently, makes you feel some kind of way, makes you go, I never pondered that, or how do I deal with that? This is why we need to have circles of women coming together to talk about that, to heal, to remove shame, to have grace for yourself, to create a pathway for you to do effective work. And you lead so beautifully. So please like and subscribe this video for more content like this. Subscribe to our Rise with Diana weekly email content that really gets you real and thinking and having you learn how to speak up for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.